Hello, welcome back to Gray the Gold Witch. Today we're going to be doing a reading on your strongest spiritual gifts. We have 4 piles today. The first is orange calcite. The second is lapis lazuli. The third is amethyst. And the fourth is opalite. So take a second and meditate on the piles if you need to, and I will see you in your reading. Hey pile 1, if you chose the orange calcite, then this is your reading on your strongest spiritual gifts. So let's dive into the oracle cards and see what your strongest spiritual gifts are. So first we have the elephant. The tree. We have the 1. We have sacred waters, nourishment, replenishment, health, rest, self-care. Heaven's door, positive affirmations, and lightning. Your strongest spiritual ability is your ability to heal, your ability to self-heal. You can connect to the divine and to higher consciousness energetically anytime something's going wrong. You have the ability to connect to spirit and find solace in divinity when your external circumstances feel bad. And I see this is something you've done since you were a child. You have a very special relationship with the divine itself. So your strongest spiritual gift is definitely your connection to spirit. It's a very tight bond that you have instant access to anytime you need it. You have the ability to heal yourself when things in the external world go poorly or go wrong. I think you're definitely clairsentient. You have a feeling of when things are going right and when things are going wrong. You can feel, you have an innate knowing within you. I see that there's been multiple instances in your life where things were going poorly or something traumatic happened and you found yourself resting in, it's like the divine cradled you during these moments, and you were very heavily protected. You definitely can heal through water. You could be a scribe or scrying with water, where you meditate on water and are able to prophesize or get premonitions about the future. I see you definitely heal in water, whether that be baths, lakes, pools, oceans. Water is a very healing place for you, for your soul. And you connect to ancient wisdom when you're in water. You're very connected to the natural cycles of life. I think you can connect to the consciousness of water as well as the consciousness of nature, trees, the grass. You're able to get into that level of conscious thinking and interact with nature as if it's a sentient being. And this is a felt experience. Because you're clairsentient, you'll feel this and feel this experience, but it'll be difficult to describe or intellectualize how you're having this mutual understanding with these life forms, but I definitely see that's a spiritual gift you have. And you have the gift of patience. Because you have this feeling that everything will work out, and you have lived experience of the divine working through these cycles with you in your life, you trust the process of life. You trust the still water periods. You know you flow with the natural cycles of life. You definitely were, when you were a kid, you played a lot of make-believe. You were very much in a fantasy world, and that was you connecting with spirit, even though you didn't realize it. All of your make-believe, like fairies and mermaids or whatever you played pretend with outside, that was you connecting to the spirit realm. I see that you played outdoors a lot, and a way you can find your zest for life again is being back in nature and leaving the matrix, egoic portions of the world. And because logic will get you from A to B in this world, or get you from the scene to the scene, but imagination will take you everywhere. And just because you can't see something doesn't mean it isn't there, it isn't real. We limit ourselves so much by thinking just by an egoic lens of the limitations we see in the 3D reality, but there's so much more to it. And your soul knows this, and you have the clairsentient feeling of this experience. And you were definitely, you didn't have anyone to teach you the ways of this when you were younger, but you still lived it and experienced it. And I think it's something you're coming back into as you go through a spiritual awakening, because I see that you've been going through an ascension where you're connecting back to spirit as you once did. You were lost for a time, and that's completely okay. Everyone loses this in the modern world. It's inevitable. But what's important is that you came back to it. And I can see that you have. Yeah, I feel like you can tap into the energy fields of living creatures and know how they're feeling. You can tap into like the tree's life force energy, especially when you meditate or focus on it when you're outdoors, when you aren't lost in your mind. Because there's portals on all of these cards. There's this hole, this circle, this door. Her hands have a door. You have healing hands for sure. Or they have a hole. And then this egg looks like another portal. You have easy access. You have like the fast lane access to spirit whenever you need spiritual support or wisdom. And you can travel between the 3D reality and 5D reality with ease. And it's a felt experience. It's not something you can see. It's something you feel yourself doing. And I see that whenever you speak positive affirmations, you can quickly change your mindset. So if you're ever in a egoic, negative headspace, you can very quickly get yourself out of that by meditating on positive affirmations. And when you focus on what your heart's feeling and what you're feeling clairsentiently, you'll always be confident in yourself. I think sometimes it's your mind that sends you in a tailspin, because your mind and your clairsentient abilities aren't meant to work together in that way. Your mind is supposed to serve your intuition. And I can see you can be perfectionistic. You have a very precise eye for the divine and beautiful things, but sometimes it can make you feel frustrated by the darkness or overwhelmed by it. And you're being reminded that everything has its time, everything has its flow. And what matters most is for you to stay in a serene headspace and with confidence in this journey. A tree never worries that it's going to end up becoming a full-blown tree when it's a sapling. It just trusts the process of life, and that's what you're being asked to do. And you can do that by recognizing when you are in an egoic, stressed out mind space and getting back into this divine connection. Because the more awareness you have of you slipping between these two worlds, the more you'll be able to help yourself during times of strife and stress. With the Elephant card here too, I see you just being very blessed by spirit. Everything's happening for your highest good. If something doesn't work out, it's because better was meant to come into your life. You can trust the waves and the turns and the patterns of your life because they're leading to your enlightenment and your fulfillment, and you have very good fortune coming in and already that exists in your life. Your life has always been abundant, and you've always had this connection to spirit, even when you couldn't feel it. You can heal yourself because of this direct connection, and you can connect back to this oneness whenever you choose to. So having that awareness that you have this gift and doing that will help you heal through difficult situations much quicker and with a higher consciousness of what's occurring. Okay, so now we're going to look at your tarot cards. What do you want pile 1 to know about their spiritual gifts? We have the Hanged Man in reverse. The Three of Swords in reverse. The Moon in reverse. The Five of Pentacles in reverse. The Tower. And the Chariot. Okay, pile 1. You are a very, very powerful soul who can heal very quickly after situations have gone wrong. Whenever you've been knocked down, it doesn't take you long to stand back up again. You have a very strong soul and life force. And I feel like a lot of this has been hidden from you in your early years, and you weren't meant to know how much power you had because you were meant to use this power for good. I see that you always know what next step you need to take and how to move on from difficult times. You always have the direction you need within you to move forward, and this is really about having a deep trust in yourself and in your knowing. And I see that you've seen some very dark places and things of this life, and you've seen the sacrifice that goes into building yourself up and going through this awakening. in Women Who Won't Run with the Wolves, she talks about how black is the color of endings and doors closing, and white is the color of new life and purity, and red is the color of sacrifice as well as passion. And I see that you are very connected to the truths of existence, and there's still a lot you haven't seen. In a lot of ways that you haven't, a lot of your power is untapped. And these tower moments are shaping you into this strong person who sees things with clarity and knows what to fight for, knows what battles to pick, knows what to fight for, who to fight for, what's worth your time. Because I see you really work for spirit. You are a vehicle for spirit to operate in this world. And you're being reminded to focus on your spiritual truths rather than the societal lens that most people operate from. You're going to make a huge impact on this world, and you just have an immense power that Spirit's really coming through with this show, and to let you know that all's well that ends in your life, because better's coming, and you can heal through anything, and you will heal through anything, and you'll be stronger for what you go through, and you're going to have clear direction on how you want to move forward. And you can trust your internal judgment and trust that Spirit's working with you. You are very connected to the divine. And I can see that you're awakened and would never act out of cruelty or maliciousness. But you've seen this cruelty and maliciousness in the world, and it makes you know what you stand for and what you don't. You're a very balanced person who you're almost like the judge archetype, where you can see what's right and what's wrong and move accordingly. You have a very precise judgment and just a very powerful presence. I'm going to close your reading, we're going to look at the archetype deck and pull one more card, because I'm feeling there's some sort of archetype that wants to be revealed to you that exists within you. Okay. For pile one. Child eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. Child nature, friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. We were talking about your ability to communicate with nature spirits. And slave, surrendering your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. Yeah, that's what I was seeing in these cards, is you are a vehicle for the divine to work in this world, and you surrender your power of choice with complete trust to the divine. You are like a prophet or someone who works for the divine, and you've been this since childhood. And if you second guess this, think back to how you used to play pretend in nature and how you used to see the world when you were young. Because if you can think back to that, you'll be able to see that you were communicating with spirit at that time. Having imaginary friends, playing pretend, your imagination was connecting with the 5D. And you are embodying the light attributes of the slave, where you work for the divine in this life and work to fulfill the divine's mission on Earth. So you can trust where you're going because you are very interconnected to the divine plan. So yes, pile 1, this is a way more powerful reading than I could have ever anticipated. So yeah, trust yourself. You're a very powerful soul. This is all I'm getting for you in this reading, and I will see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, pile 2. If you chose the Lapis Lazuli, then this is your reading on your strongest spiritual gifts. So let's get into the oracle cards first to see what Spirit wants to bring through. We have the Cosmic Egg, the Black Cat, Joy, the Mystical Sister, the Rose Thread, Inner Call, Soul Led, the Mystic, Living Courageously, Health Checkup, and the Animal. Okay, I wanted to get that set up too, so that you could see all of the cards. So immediately as I tap into your energy, I can feel you're going through an awakening. I think you're in the dark night of the soul process at this time, and you're being very protected by Spirit as we speak. Your strongest psychic gifts right now are clairvoyancy and clairaudiency. However, I feel like you are psyching yourself out about if it's really happening or if you're really having these psychic nudges. And you are. Everyone has psychic abilities, but it's a muscle you have to practice. And everyone goes through this process of second guessing this, so it's nothing to be ashamed of. But you're in a hard part of the spiritual journey right now. So if you've been feeling exhausted and having a really hard time, that is normal in the stage you're in. So you're definitely having very vivid dreams that are teaching you about your journey right now, and there's just signs in your waking life, synchronicities in pictures you see, in words you read. Your sight, your clairvoyant abilities are very heightened at this time. You even see number synchronicities and things on billboards and advertisements and stuff. I feel like your psychic eye has just really activated, and it would make sense you're feeling tired right now. As you go through this awakening, you're being asked to be gentle with yourself. That is the main prerogative of this part of your journey, is to be kind with yourself and rest and let this part flow, because it won't last forever. This is going to pass. And your abilities you'll be more confident in them as time goes on. The Cosmic Egg card is all about this cosmic consciousness and awakening, and that's what you're going through right now. And I think you fear your gifts to some degree. You fear what being able to see this way will bring to you. And you're being asked not to fear it and to be open to it. Because when you hold on to life, life holds on to you. You are immensely protected at this time. And I think you might have some fears of maybe subconscious fears of witches and psychic abilities from subliminal messaging from society, or just fears that you have about sensing life in this way. And you're being asked to notice them and be aware of them and let them pass, because they're not how your soul truly feels, and it's more of an ego fear that you're deconstructing during this awakening. Like, it's almost like you have some superstitions, like people fear black cats, but they're a very like, to me, they're a sign of abundance from this universe. And I just think you have some fear-based mentalities that you're working through right now. Black cats to me are a sign that I'm always on the right track. So to get this in a reading for you, I know you're on the right track in your journey. You're fully where you need to be right now at this exact moment in time. And the uncomfortability you feel will pass. And the reason you're going through this is to fully find your joy, to find fulfillment in your life, and your dreams of abundance and fulfillment and your visions of a happy future will come true. Your clairvoyant abilities are leading you in the right direction and telling you, it's your higher self telling you what's coming for you. And the main ingredient you're being asked to put into this pot of your awakening is suspending judgment for yourself, stopping with the judgmental approach, the critical approach to how you're handling this, believing that everything's happening the way it's supposed to. But the main thing you're being asked to do is recognize helping hands and supportive people when you see them. Because I think a big part of your fears comes from you being around narrow-minded people in the past, or people who didn't have your best interest at heart. And Spirit's bringing in some people who are really going to help uplift you and sustain you and love on you during this time. And you're being asked to notice their flame, and you can be like a moth and flock to it, because there's some spiritually awakened people who are here to help you on this next stage of your journey. And you're going to have synchronicities within the people you meet during this time. It's interesting, Sora reminds me of the word sorrow, just in how it appears. And I feel like you might be going through a sorrow-filled time, but it's leading to your utmost joy. I really do see that. And you've been called, your soul has led you to this awakening, because what's on the other side is so prosperous for you. You're instinctively following this path. Pay attention to your dreams right now. I'd write down what you're dreaming about. That's your clairvoyant abilities being activated, as well as the images that flash in your inner eye. You're getting signs of your destiny and your future and the abundance that's waiting for you. And you're being asked to accept help when you need it. You don't have to go through this alone, and to take care of yourself, to feed yourself, to give yourself rest, to give yourself self-care. Right now it's of the utmost importance that you are gentle with yourself. There's this song called Kind of Girl by Muna that completely describes this. I'm going to link it in the description box below. I'll do a channeled song for every pile, because I just see all these synchronicities happening to you right now as you go through your awakening, and you're being told that the path out of hell is misery, and to leave this egoic lens you were once in will be uncomfortable, and you're going to have to shift through the discomfort, but it's leading to the most prosperous, beautiful time. Even the eyes here, these eyes are so piercing. I really see your clairvoyancy just being extremely activated right now. So don't fear that. Psychic visions are a little eerie sometimes, or just kind of shocking when you first have them, but you'll get used to it. It's a muscle that you have to practice. And I really see that this card, the joy card's what you're coming into through this process. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, a true fulfillment within yourself and in this world. You're on the path to your destiny. You're on the right track. And just take care of yourself during this time. Oh my God, I just heard that quote. It's like, you can't control the storm, but you can learn to dance in the rain. Maybe that's what you're being asked to learn to do during this difficult time. But just be gentle with yourself. That's what I keep hearing. And spend time around flowers. Flowers would really boost your mood, I'm hearing, keeping them in your room. Okay, we're gonna look at the tarot cards now. Tap me into pile 2. What do they need to hear right now? The Magician in reverse. The Six of Wands in reverse. The Son of Cups. One more, Spirit. 2 more? Okay. The Father of Cups. And the Three of Cups. Okay, this is really cool. And Death is on the back of the deck. Pile 2, I feel like life hasn't been going the way you planned for it to recently. You're feeling as though your manifestations aren't coming in, and that where you once thought you'd succeed, you're feeling like you're losing. And Spirit's saying that this is truly in your best interest and will lead to you building the solid foundation you wanted. You needed to go through this death to this ego death to find your true satisfaction. And this is helping you grow from the Knight of Cups to the King of Cups. It's like going from a spiritual child to a spiritual adult, you know? This is a phase of transition for you to really figure out the people and the things and the life you want for yourself. By this transition, even though it might feel rocky, you're carving out the life that you truly want for yourself, the people you want in your life. You're learning how to be assertive and stand up for yourself and be your own anchor. In another deck, this card, it says be your own anchor, and this one says something along the lines of what I want waits for me. So you're being asked to be patient for this time and know that what you truly want is also, what you seek is also seeking you. And this is a matter of time and space for you to look back on this chapter and see that it worked out exactly in the way it needed to for you to have your true fulfillment and success. Life didn't work out the way you expected it to or wanted it to, but it'll be so much better in the long run because of this turn of events. And you're going to really find your soul family and the people that make you happy and light you up and make you feel like you can truly be yourself. I think the situation you used to be in was very ego-based, and you were living to please people and to be who you thought people wanted you to be. You're growing into your authentic self with confidence and being that, and you'll be that around the people who you truly love and truly care for. None of this is in vain. everything you're going through right now has purpose. And your soul is leading you through this chapter. And you're going to be so much stronger and wiser and sure of yourself on the other side. And whatever's meant to fall out of your life will. Nothing that's working against you or isn't in your best interest will stay. Because you have this beautiful cup, you have this cup of love that you deserve to share with other people. And I think people in your past took from your cup and didn't give you any love or nourishment into that cup. And you're finding people who will and who have their own cups and have gone through similar experiences that you've gone through. So even though on the surface or on paper this might not look like a success, it will lead to your utmost fulfillment, and you're on the right trajectory in your life, even if it might not feel like it. You're going through an ego death, and that's very hard. But what's on this other side is much brighter, and you're just going to have so much more certainty and satisfaction in your life. You're letting go of limiting beliefs, and you're focusing your energy on what you truly want. Your energy in the past was scattered, and you couldn't see clearly, and now you are really growing into a clarity of mind and a deep faith in yourself and knowing what you need and what you want. And this is a difficult chapter, I can see that, but it's going to lead to your utmost fulfillment and happiness. You're really just in for so much beauty and so much sunlight and positivity, and it's always darkest before the dawn, right? So just be gentle with yourself. Truly just be kind to yourself during this time. Let's look at the archetype deck for one last card. What does pile 2, what energy does pile 2 need to focus on? We got 2 cards. Seeker, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are, and Storyteller, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. What you're going through right now is part of your story. I know that's a very corny thing to say, but it's meant to happen in your life. The letter S might be significant as well. You're finding wisdom and truth in your experience, and you're going to be much wiser, and this is like building. What you're going through right now is the foundation blocks for your utmost fulfillment and happiness. So trust where you're being led and be gentle with yourself during this time, and this will pass. You're being asked to focus on the good in your life at this time, even though things could look bleak to you right now. You're being asked to write a gratitude list or practice gratitude and just weather this storm, because the storm will end. Okay. Thank you, Pile 2. That it was an honor to read for you, and I will see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, Pile 3. If you chose the amethyst, then this is your reading on your strongest spiritual gifts right now. So we're going to first look at the oracle cards, and then we'll get into the tarot to see what your strongest spiritual gifts are. We have the second bloom, a second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities, infinite potential, the comic, the shark, clear your energy field, snail, and the golden rose. Your strongest psychic ability, the one that's coming through first, is clairaudiency. I am hearing that you have a strong rapport with your spirit guides, and you're at a place in your psychic development where you communicate with your spirit guides frequently. The first thing that's coming through about your spirit guides is that they're very funny, and you and them both have a very light energy, and I can tell you've purged a lot of heavy things in your past. You're a very evolved soul who has kind of learned how life operates and realized that to bring new in and to have more abundance, you have to let go of things. You've realized the secret of life, that you can't carry everything, and that some things you have to let go of to bring new things in. So you've mastered that art of realizing what no longer serves you and letting it go. And you're very, very aware of when there are things in your life that are no longer serving you. You have a very perceptive eye, and this is because of life experience you've had where you've realized too late that things in your life weren't serving you. And because of that, you are faster to recognize whenever something should leave your life or is no longer serving you anymore. And you've come to realize sometimes things serve you for a period of time, but then they reach a point where they no longer do. You've realized that just because a chapter ends doesn't mean you failed or that things didn't go right. It just means that a new chapter is beginning. You've learned the song and dance of life because of hardships you've gone through, and because of the patterns you've noticed within them. You have a levity towards life, and you experience it with gratitude towards what you're experiencing, but also a sense of detachment and knowing that whatever's meant for you will come and find you. And I'm hearing the less I know, the better. So you just have a very open, receptive heart to your life and trusting in the divine that whatever's meant for you will come for you. And you've also figured out how to sit with the seasons when things are moving really slow or you feel like you're not getting anywhere fast. You've learned how to sit in that calmness and find serenity within yourself and not have to look for it in external things. You have a keen awareness that you are able to see these truths of life, but also there's a lot left in your life that's left up to mystery, and you're open and receptive to that mystery as well, and letting that mystery unfold, even if it's at a snail's pace. But you, whenever you're given information from your spirit guides, you act on it. If something's not meant to stay in your life, it's very hard for you to hide that from yourself at this point because of your lived experience and having had in the past had things stay in your life longer than necessary. This is definitely a lived experience pile where the levity and the happiness you have towards life is by experiencing the different faces of life and knowing how you don't like to handle situations. You now know how you like to operate in your life and what gives you the most peace and fulfillment, because you realized you have infinite potential in this life and you can conquer whatever you set your mind to or whatever is destined for you. But the biggest lesson you've learned is to let go of things that aren't serving you any longer, or to cut out situations in your life that aren't at your vibration any longer. You've learned how to let go. That's the ultimate spiritual gift you have. And because you've learned to let go and trust, your clairaudiency abilities, you trust more. Because clairaudiency is one of those gifts where you get messages and you have to really be open and receptive to it and not fearful of what you're receiving. And also you have to have the awareness to know whether it's coming from your ego or from the spirit realm. It's a very nuanced psychic gift. And to have it, you have to have a sort of levity towards it and a lightness towards receiving these messages. And I see that you have that, and you have this disposition where, because of the things you've experienced, you've learned how to laugh at life and enjoy a beginner's mindset when you need to. You're doing the song and dance of life in a very healthy way. And it's because you know that when you're open to life, new possibilities will come in. It's when you're holding on too tightly that you'll stagnate. I feel like you can look at life's events and just really, from a detached place, laugh at what's going on and what's occurring, and still have the utmost faith that things are working out in your best interest because you're listening to your spiritual cues in the direction you're being told to go in. There might be people in your life right now that don't understand you or the way you live your life, and I think it's cool there's sage here, and I have sage in the readings for today. So I think you're being asked to, what isn't serving you that's in your life, and you're being asked to take action on that and set boundaries with the people that are making a negative impact on your life, and focus on the relationships that bring positivity in. I'm seeing that you can treat these people's attitudes like the air and wind and just like brush it away, because their perception is not your reality. And another reader, Tarot with Tay, posted a photo a few weeks ago that said, "Let them misunderstand you, but never define you." And I think that's the disposition you have. You've learned how to live life on your own terms and with your own direction, and you're doing it very well. And you live life with this like beauty of this rose. There's 2 roses here. I think you live life in a very beautiful, harmonious way. And it's because of the lessons you've learned and the trials you've had to face. You're a warrior who's been through a lot, and I feel like you are confident in the level you're at in life, like how you respond to life, it's like you're not a beginner at this experience of life anymore. You definitely, through experience, have learned how you want to operate and what you want to do. And you do it well, you do it with grace and beauty and strength. Every time I see the shark card, I think of this saying there was these signs up around New York City for some museum that had sharks on it and said, "To be great is to be misunderstood." And not everyone's going to get you, not everyone's going to understand you, and I think you realize that and are okay with that. And maybe sometimes your ego gets in the way, but you very much trust the direction you're being led in, and you're being led towards this mystery. With the shark and the snail facing this way, I feel like you're continuing to understand the mystical aspects of your life, and you're revealing truths as they come. And you're just really doing this very well, and you should be proud of yourself. And the limitations you face are just constraints of Earth's reality, like time, and you're learning how to operate with them and figure out what works for you. You're doing very well, Pile 3. And you've had to experience hard things to get here, but you're at this very light time in your life where you've purged out a lot of wounds and pains, and you see things with a very wise eye, a very perceptive eye. You're an old soul. And you're being asked to just continue to recognize the potential you have and continue to do what feels right and act on the insights you gain in communication with your guides, because you're flowing very well right now, Pile 3. And this is something you did and you should be proud of. So let's look at the tarot cards for more. Okay. What can we get for Pile 3? We have the Mother of Swords, the Seven of Wands, Pile 3, the Two of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. In the back of the deck, energy we have is Mother of Wands. It's so interesting from the Oracle cards to the tarot cards how much these tarot cards reiterate what we were talking about up to this point. Because the Mother of Swords, the Queen of Swords, is a woman who cuts through what is no longer serving her and isn't afraid to cut things out of her life that are negative or make a negative impact on her. And she knows that when these things are cut away, she'll be better for it. And the Seven of Wands is all about fighting for yourself and using your life force to move ahead and to stand up for yourself and stand tall. So these are very empowered cards that are coming out. And it's interesting, 4 out of 5 of these are Wands and Swords cards, which are typically seen as masculine energies. And I see you really stepping into your masculine energy of assertiveness and empowerment and really taking charge of your own life. The Two of Wands here, this is beautiful. You have just so much open road on the horizon, really, that like the more you cut things out and the more you listen to what serves you and what doesn't serve you, you're going to continue to carve out a life for yourself that's very empowering and fulfilling. And I just see you continuing to rise in your confidence and rise in your knowledge of yourself, knowing that you're doing what you're meant to be doing. You have a very beautiful internal strength that has gotten you this far and will continue to take you where you're meant to go. And I see your future has a lot of color and abundance in it. And I feel as though there's parts of your life that you are really waiting to see grow. And in the near future, they're going to be accelerating in their growth with the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I see you no longer having to wait on great changes to happen in your life, and they're just going to be happening because of this respect you have for yourself and inner authority. And I see a lot of abundance coming in for you because you stuck to your beliefs and opinions and did what was best for you, even if people around you didn't understand it. I see you're a force to be reckoned with, Pile 3. And your power is very impressive. Whatever you're doing right now, you're going to be successful. So keep doing it, keep fighting, keep doing what feels right for you. And know that the path will become clearer as time goes on. And any uncomfortable situations in your life right now, or anything you are unhappy dealing with, it will pass and it will move away as long as you continue to stay true to yourself. And you're following your inner compass, and a lot of people follow what is expected out of them in the external world, or what they think they should do, or what other people think they should do, and you're totally following your inner compass, and that's why you're being led to this success. So I see a lot of abundance coming in for you, and you've practiced patience for so long, but you're not going to have to practice patience in the near future. So yeah, the wheel's turning in your favor, and you're letting go of limiting beliefs. You're fully letting go of any beliefs you had that were in your way of bringing in this abundance. So to close, let's look at the archetype deck and see if there's any archetypes that want to be brought forward for you today. We have the Teacher, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And Rescuer, provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. By you embodying this energy and being like your own best friend and biggest ally, you're teaching other people how to empower themselves and how to respect themselves. And I see your heart chakra and throat chakra are very activated right now. And what you're doing is, by empowering yourself, you're also empowering other people and teaching them how to carve out this life for themselves rather than trying to find it outside of themselves. You're teaching people that it comes from within. So that's really cool. And you should be proud of the work you're doing, because it really is helping people. And you're at the point in your spiritual journey where you're giving back what you've received. And you can trust the path you're going down, because it's only a matter of time till you start seeing major fruits of your labor and this perseverance you've had to get to this point, because this is not for the faint of heart. So yeah, Pile 3, this is beautiful. You're a very evolved, powerful soul. So keep doing what you're doing, and you're making a bigger impact than you realize right now. So yeah, that's all I have for you, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I'll see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, Pile 4. If you chose the opalite, then this is your reading on your strongest spiritual gifts right now. So we're going to get into the oracle cards, and then we'll move into the tarot after. So the first card we have is 1. And we have Lineage of the Rose, moved by the goddess, here for this soul call gather. Then we have the Underworld. And we have Look to the Stars. Then we have Bees. Then we have the golden egg, build strength, harmony, and Jupiter. Let me make sure everything's in frame. Okay, pile 4. Your reading is very, very powerful. And the first thing I want to say is your strongest psychic ability right now is claircognizance. You'll have gut instincts or like very almost solid downloads of the truth. And I believe your claircognizant abilities have really heightened because you've also heightened all of your other clair abilities, whether it be clairsentience, clairaudience, clairvoyance. You're very evolved and have really worked your psychic muscle. And I see that your claircognizant abilities are very heightened, and you can use them and know whenever you're having a very intuitive, truthful download. Like, this is a random example, but a few weeks ago, or like a few months ago, I had this download that somebody who I had seen treating this person was being very disrespectful in their workplace, and I had a download that they were going to be fired from their job. I had no reason to think it. It's not like their boss saw them acting this way. I just had that download. And I obviously didn't wish that for them. I didn't want that for any reason, but I still had that download. And a few weeks ago, it turned out to be true. So it's those kind of downloads that you just have that insight that something's going to happen. Like, oh, that person is about to fall in the water when they're like standing by the edge, and then they do. So those quick downloads, that's claircognizant abilities. It's a premonition that happens, and then what you think is going to happen does happen. So that's what I see has really awakened in you because of your use of the psychic muscle. You convene with spirit on a regular basis, and you've done a lot of your shadow work. So basically what I see here for you is that you had a claircognizant download that you needed to start something, or something that you wanted to do would lead to lasting fulfillment and abundance. If you haven't had this download yet, you're about to. It's something that you get a download that you following this dream will be successful. You starting this activity, you traveling to this place, whatever it might be, you have a download that something will be successful in the long run, as long as you put in the hard work and effort towards it. And I see that you have, it's almost like a soul call or a gathering, where what you do also attracts your soul tribe and attracts people to you that share in your destiny and in your dharma. And I see that you are able to recognize this as truth because you've done your shadow work and know you've seen the hard facets of life, you've seen the hard things, and you know what is substantial and what has validity, and you know that this innately will bear fruits, so you go after it. And I'm seeing within the first 3 months of it, you start attracting people to this, your inner calling, and it's your, whatever you're doing, it's something that really comes from your heart and is fully pure in its being. It's just a passion that you have innately within you, and it's written in the stars for you, whatever this is. And this reading, I guess, is confirmation to you that whatever you've started or whatever you are about to start is going to be successful, and you had a claircognizant download that it will be. I see that you could even look at your astrological transits right now. Specifically, I'm hearing sidereal transits, not tropical astrology. I think it'll be more clear in Vedic. But you have a period of abundance coming in where whatever you've started will reap rewards. And there's a level of patience here that you have to wait for this to work, but in the end, it will be expansive and successful. And this period of you waiting is to build up strength and get you into the rhythm and the balance of doing what you're meant to do, and to ensure that it comes from this pure place. And I see that it does. You have a very pure soul and a pure heart that just wants to spread good in this world. So I see by the 6th or 7th month of working on this thing, or starting this project, or moving to this place, whatever it might be, you'll know you have had this clear cognizant download that this will be successful, so you know what this thing is. It's within the 6th or 7th month of you working on this thing, it'll reap significant rewards, and you'll start to see them within the 3rd and 4th month as well. And there's a period of darkness where you don't really know where you're going, but you trust this download, and it turns out to be correct in the long run. And this period of being in the dark and not knowing what's going to happen is for you to build trust in your psychic abilities, and for you to move forward with a trust in what you see and what you know to be true for yourself. And I just see so much expansion happening for you, especially within the 4th to 6th month mark. This is very numerology is really coming through in this, and so is astrology. So I think you're being asked to study those tools. It'll help with your psychic abilities, I'm hearing. It'll help strengthen them, because numbers and astrology are tools that help us working in our destinies and our life path, I'm hearing. Whatever you felt called to do, you're being asked to do it. And it's part of your dharma, it's part of your life mission. And I almost see these bees as like, they're swarming to this honey of this golden egg. And whatever you're making is nectar. It's sustenance, it's fulfillment for people. And it comes from your heart, and it's going to expand outwards and make ripple effects on people around you. This card also reminds me of the Midas touch. I just see whatever you're doing really being prosperous and abundant for you and for the people around you that share in this gift. So, yeah, I see it starting with one premonition and leading to all this abundance. So, get excited. Or if you might already be farther along in this process, and congrats if so. This is because of all of the work you've done. You've traveled to the darkest parts of this world and faced your inner demons, and you're a warrior, frankly. And you've built up this strength and endurance, and you're building on a solid foundation, so whatever you create is going to be successful. Okay, let's look at the tarot cards now. I'm hearing Hallelujah, that song that has been covered by so many people. Specifically, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. Okay. Spirit, what do you want pile 4 to know? Okay, way too many. Let's get like 4 or 5. 3 of Pentacles. The Star. 6 of Pentacles. The Moon. Ace of Cups in reverse. and the Empress. Wow. Okay. So pile 4, I see that you're going to be working with people who share the same insights as you. I see that you're really being called to your soul tribe and to the people who you can build with rather than people who tear you down or belittle your achievements. You're coming into a time of success and prosperity, and it's been a hard mountain to climb. I see the perseverance you've been through and the work you've done, and we were talking about your work bearing fruits, and that's exactly what the Six of Pentacles cards looks like, that you'll be able to have tangible evidence of your success and prosperity. And your psychic abilities are going to continue to heighten. I see your claircognizance just being like whip smart, and you really have strong spiritual abilities in all forms. It's very multifaceted. I see you utilizing all of the clair gifts. So the main thing that Spirit's coming through with is to say that you need to make sure to fill your cup up before you fill other people's. And the overflow is what you should give to people. So you're being asked to rest more than even you think you should, because what you're doing, you're really pouring your heart and soul out into, and it'll be easy to get burnout. And you're being reminded that you're growing something very solid, like this Empress card, this tree. It's long-lasting and sustainable, and you're being asked to take care of yourself above all else and step into this Empress energy of being receptive to all the abundance coming towards you and not feeling like you have to work extremely hard for it. I'm hearing it takes two to tango. I think you're going to have guides in the spirit realm and angels, and as well as people in your community who lend a helping hand, and you don't have to do it all on your own. And you're being asked to be more receptive than you might typically be. Yeah, the fruits of your labor really are coming through. And I see you just really being happy and feeling like you can trust in your path and knowing that what you're doing is making an impact on other people. You're really being asked to just realize that you are this beautiful, abundant person who has made this happen for yourself, and you've done it all on your own. No one else has done this for you. You have fought to get to this point, and your resiliency and your fortitude is beautiful. And just trust in this path, whatever stage you're at, whether you just had this premonition or you're in the middle of working on it. You have a lot to look forward to, and people are going to be very thankful that you created this, and you're not only sustaining yourself with this, but you're helping uplift other people, and you're growing something very beautiful into this world. And make sure that you surround yourself with people who uplift you during this time rather than people who disempower you. And know when you need time to yourself and when you need time to breathe rather than work. This is having a healthy work and life balance. And productivity is not a sign of success. So don't feel you have to work hard all the time. You deserve to rest. The Empress knows her worth, and you're being asked to recognize your worth and see you're this beautiful, radiant star. You've done incredible things. So this is a matter of you really feeling that and embodying that and knowing that you've done really well for yourself and you've made a beautiful life for yourself. And loving yourself enough to fill up your cup before you fill out other people's. That's the big message I'm seeing. So to close your reading, we're going to look at some archetype cards. Okay. So we have Angel, light attribute, helping out those in need with no expectation of return. Yeah, okay. Like, that's like a mic drop. You're an earth angel. Whatever you're doing is angelic work, it's divine. And you've really crafted something into this world that's part of your divine purpose. And you have this beautiful heart. And don't let people make you feel like, I feel like people might look at you and envy in these shadow attributes of acting innocent or angelic to mislead others. People might talk their talk or be rude, but you know your heart and you know that you come from this very pure place in this pure love. And let them misunderstand you but not define you. You know who you are. This is beautiful. Okay, Pile 4, this is what I'm getting for you. You are a blessing to this world, and I'm excited for you and what you're about to accomplish because it's massive stuff. And even if you've already accomplished this, I just see it continuing to expand and grow and flourish. So this is all I'm getting for you, Pile 4. It was an honor to read for you, and I'll see you in another reading. Bye.